Cuba, it's the Forbidden Island. It's the land of Che and Fidel. It's where Americans need special permission to visit the largest Caribbean island. I've been photographing Cuba since 2008, documenting the people and their culture as I travel this beautiful and forbidden island. Today, Americans can visit Cuba through a special government-sponsored program called People to People. This program is based on an interaction with everyday Cubans through educational and cultural activities. So come join me on the road as we travel through Cuba. Hi everyone, my name is Jay Seldin and we're in my studio and we're going to take a look at some of the photographs that I had taken while I was traveling in Cuba. The first photograph I have to show you today is called Cigar Man, and it's one of my very first photographs that I had taken while I was traveling on the island. Cigar Man is a guy that was just kind of following me for a little bit, and then I was able to take that shot. It just worked out so nicely. I don't usually have titles for my photographs. That was an exception to it because it was more of an iconic photo. But this photo here is one of my favorite photos in terms of a street scene. You just get a good feeling about the history of the island by looking at it, the age of the buildings, and just the way people are kind of congregating through the island on this street. Well, this is one of my favorite places to go. This is the boxing ring in Cuba, in Havana, by the way. And I photograph this guy every time I come. He's always boxing and practicing. That's what they do, is they practice quite a bit. They train. And this was, I thought, a really great portrait of him. And he enjoyed, when he saw the photo, he liked it himself. I got a chance to do that, to bring them to them. This photo is in one of the dance studios. This is in Prodanza, which is one of the famous ballet studios, and these young ballerinas and ballet students are practicing for a show that they're going to be doing in a couple of weeks from that rehearsal. I enjoy going there because it gives me an opportunity to have some time with the artists themselves and photograph them. And speaking of artists in Cuba, this is one of my favorite artists, Irene Rodriguez. I know Irene. I have spent many hours with her in her studio with my groups. And this was a performance that she had given in Cathedral Plaza, which is a beautiful plaza in Old Havana. And she did this in the evening, and it was so rich and beautiful, and people from all over came around to see this show. This one is another photograph that I had taken inside of one of the apartment buildings. But this one is on its way, I'm on my way up to one of the great restaurants in Cuba. And this young resident of the building just was very curious as to why I was taking pictures of just this empty hallway. And he just walked over and decided he thought he was going to disrupt my picture taking. And as it turned out, it became one of my favorite photos. When I go to Cuba, I always visit some people in their apartments, and I visit them frequently whenever I go there, so that I have a relationship with them. And this is one of the women that I visit when I take my group to Cuba. And we get an opportunity to see how everyone lives in Cuba, to see what their apartment looks like, and it's pretty communal. So what you're looking at here is their communal kitchen table that they use to kind of prepare the foods for the day, and that's what she is doing for today. So this photo here, this is an interesting shoot that I did. I had an opportunity to spend some time in these people's apartment, and when I got there, this young man was sound asleep in the bed. It appears he had a little too much rum the night before, and he was sleeping off this rum drink that he had. And I just had this free access inside this apartment to go around and kind of shoot it. And this is one of my favorite projects that I've done while I was in Cuba. This, by the way, is in the barrio. Another great activity that I was fortunate to attend was May Day. Not everyone gets a chance to go to May Day in Cuba, which is the workers' holiday. And this one is on the street that runs all the way up to Revolutionary Square. And on this particular May Day, a month before that, Hugo Chavez had passed away, and he was a great friend to Cuba and a very good friend to Fidel. So you can see how they were honoring him. They had all these little placards, and this young boy was being carried on his dad's shoulder and saluting to Hugo Chavez. And the last photo that I'm going to show you tonight is the way we end one of our nights in Cuba. We take a trip to Cafe Taberna, which is in the old town, and we'll go see Buena Vista Social Club. And this is a photograph that I had taken of the band as it is today. More than likely, this is the 4th generation of Buena Vista Social Club, but these guys are in their 80s, and they play every night, 7 days a week, a 2-hour performance, and they get the people that come to watch their performance, they get them up and dancing every single night, and boy, what a great way to end an evening in Cuba. So thanks for coming by the studio today to have a look at some of the photos that I've taken while I was traveling in Cuba. And maybe the next time we'll go down the road to another location that I've been to. Thanks for coming by.
Yo que soy